welcome to the Nix's podcast. My name is Melany Nix. Tonight, Chris, Mark, Eisige Venen. Welcome,
How's it
guys.
going?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Great, great.
All right. We will be joined by Curtis eventually. Just little issues, you know, technology, anger overdose.
Hey,
Absolutely. Welcome. All right. So the question: what inspired the band name?
um, so I was stationed in Germany for quite a while. I kind of fell in love with the country. I also was a huge World of Warcraft player, so it's essentially just German for icy veins, which was a mage spell in the game.
All right, all right. I didn't get a chance to play that one that much. I was on Perfect World International.
Oh
Uh,
wow!
yes, yes. I still have the game. I just don't have time to play anymore,
Right, yeah.
unfortunately. And the wallet
Hmm.
because those games can get expensive to keep up with the biggest players. How'd you guys all get together? How did the band get formed? I know the band was just a one man thing. That's how it began, and then you guys expanded. So how?
Right. So basically, uh, I had started recording more material. I wanted to expand it into something else. Um, I felt that my vocals weren't quite cutting it to where I wanted it to be. So I had asked Curtis first if he'd like to do the vocals on that song Death Springs Eternal. He said yes. Um, and at that point, we had recorded that song. Uh, Chris and me knew each other from metal, heavy metal reviews 101, which is they did reviews on YouTube there
Yep.
with him and his friend Dustin. Well, our friend Dustin, I should say. And they had interviewed me before we had talked and stuff. Once that came out, Chris kind of hit me up and was like, do you want, can I play bass? And you need a bass player. Um, and to be quite honest, having someone else help take the workload off was a no brainer. I was like, yeah, let's do it. He played some bass. It ended up sounding amazing. He's an excellent bass player, so we just stuck together from there on out.
Well, that's amazing. It's nice how, you started this project and then it evolved, and of course the
Right.
music, the sound evolved with the new people, the new,
Mm-hmm.
Who's your inspiration, Chris? Like, and Mark, like who inspires you? Who in music land?
That's a tough question. I mean, there's some easy answers, obviously. The go-to answer is Cliff Burton. By far, inspired me and influenced me more than anybody else. Peter Steele. He's kind of the reason I became a bass player because when I was growing up, I wanted to be him. He's this big, imposing figure, which I am not. I'm all of 5'8", so I don't have that same presence. But there's just so many people. Victor Wooten, not really my style that I play, but just listening to what he does and just seeing what's possible to do with a bass guitar, challenges me to try out, venture out, and do different things. Les Claypool, obviously, once again, not the style that I bring in so much. You heard a little bit of it on the song I did with Superposition, a little more of the slap bass stuff. But yeah, there's a whole laundry list of people, but those are kind of the primary players.
Yeah, I would say for me, it's growing up. It was in the '90s. It was just Smashing Pumpkins. Just nonstop. And the biggest part of that was his ability to weave like that. Well, I mean, the melancholy with the heavier rock to get that sound that they got. So between that, Leonard Cohen was a huge inspiration. Listened to a lot of him growing up. Um, it's strange. I should say like there's like black metal bands or something like that. Um, but unfortunately, I kind of wanted to. I learned to play heavy metal guitar through a friend, and I didn't learn how to play any other guitar. So I have to take, my inspirations from like Billy Corgan or Leonard Cohen and stuff, and incorporate them into a more heavy metal style.
Well, that's pretty cool. There's inspiration of everything in every song in metal now. Like everything is more melodic. There's orchestra. There's I don't know if you guys know Kim Drack, but I mean he has trumpet and stuff in his songs. So it's metal is evolving. I think it's one of the most broad genre of music with all its subgenres. Like it's crazy.
Right? Yeah, for sure.
Um, let's see. Do you guys have any artistic collaboration plans?
Hmm.
If you don't, who
Mm.
would you like to collaborate with?
Well, we do have uh, we have collaborated with Richard from Morning Scars. Me and Chris did. We're kind of part of Dead Deceased. We let's see, Chris uh, is the plays bass for like every band we've met on Facebook. Um,
Job security.
um, I'm trying to think. Curtis did vocals for Greg Filth for a song recently. So we're all, I think all of us, especially, I'll call it the Facebook crew, but all of us on Facebook who play like heavy metal and or hard rock or something, we all just seem to kind of uh, hang out together online. So we're kind of in and out of each other's projects here and there.
Yeah, I would
Absolutely.
anticipate there's probably going to be some collaboration between the other Rotting Sun Records bands. I've been talking to Gabriel from Fallen Gabriel. He wants to do a collaboration. Um, I've done some collaboration stuff with Anger Overdose. Um, Dead Deceased in and of itself is kind of a collaboration side project for all of us. But it seems to be gaining some traction. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, that community on Facebook is really amazing. It's nice to see everybody supporting each other. It's nice to see even me, like even the other podcasts, other radio stations. Like the community is very welcoming. It's very, and that's in the metal world. Like I don't see that in any of the other genres at all. Like, what do you think? What do you think's going on in the metal world, guys? Do you think we're trying to maybe like change the industry a little bit without being in the industry because you guys are independent artists?
I, I mean, it's my personal opinion, and I don't have anything to back it up. So that is what it is. But I feel like heavy metal has always been about inclusion. It's never been an exclusive thing. Everybody's welcome. Um, Once heavy metal artists get together, the competition level of like say hip hop or EDM or something like that, um, it just isn't quite there. I mean, obviously there's some bands um, out there that just aren't very good. People don't like them, and it could be us to some people. It's everybody's personal opinion.
Yeah.
But if I'm playing a show or something like that, or not playing a show, I'm sorry, at a show, and I tell people, hey, yeah, I got this band, they'll they're more likely to check it out. If they hate it, that's fine, but they're not going to sit there and give me grief about it. Um, they might say, and we've had this happen, where someone's like, yeah, it's not really my thing, but you have the talent to play this. Would you like to join me on something? Stuff like that. Everybody's really cool. Um, it's a family more than anything, a
Absolutely.
religion to some even.
Absolutely. It's an outlet. It's a way for all of us to express how we feel.
Mhm.
A lot of us don't have words when we speak, but in that music, there's a lot of meaning. There's a lot of what inspires you guys to write the music, the lyrics, the melodies.
Um, well, the lyrics for the last album are mostly mine. Um, Mostly it's depression, the worst times of your life. They bring out. It's strange because the worst times of your life, to me, bring out the best art.
Yep.
And I don't want to say I get inspired by depression because I don't like being depressed. But it is what it is. It's the light at the end of the tunnel, I guess.
So I guess for me, I don't really write. So um, I can. It's a slow process. But a lot of the stuff that I've done, I brought to the table, it doesn't fit what we're trying to do in Eisige Venen. Um, 20 years ago, when I really first started playing guitar, I was sitting in my barracks room in Japan and trying to play Slayer's Decade of Aggression, as much of it as I could. And so I think that kind of cemented in my head, this thrash metal guitar style, which just does not jive with what we do. Because I don't know how Mark does what he does. It's amazing. Um, but I'm learning,
I don't
and
know
I
either.
hope to I hope to contribute some guitar work to Eisige Venen at some point.
I mean, it takes time. It takes practice. Some people like that's what I was telling her. Um, some people have to practice, and other people pick up a guitar and they're playing music like in less than a week. Like it's just how it is. But if you put the effort, if you put the time into it, for sure, at one point, anything is doable, obtainable. Oh,
I say if you ever
anything.
want to, yeah, if you ever want to feel bad about yourself, go to Guitar Center and watch a teenager shred.
Well, I mean, join us at 9 o'clock tonight when I interview 13-year-old Wrecker Ians, who plays bass guitar, drums, produces,
Wow,
and has played with people like Dropout Kings and Futuristic. I mean,
wow.
I am already starstruck by a 13-year-old that I haven't talked to already. It's crazy, like you said, how the next generation, how it's the music's in good hands. Put it this way, where
Yeah, and I
yeah,
I hate to be the guy. I've seen videos and stuff about kids playing video games and like, all these video games are killing their love for music and stuff. However, with that being said, the hand-eye coordination that video games can develop can make somebody a hell of a musician. If they can apply what they've learned playing Dark Souls to the fretboard, they can do a lot.
absolutely. And if you think about it, if we go to Sloppy Joe Studios, we could get that game that has all those amazing indie band songs on it.
Hmm.
And there I love how he brought the music into the video games. It's really awesome. Death Pigeon said totally both helped me in all honesty. Uh, Video games helped my patience, especially games like Dark Soul and all those games where you can't rush through anything because you're just gonna have to start over again and again.
Right. Yeah.
You know, if you could build your own tour lineup, who would we be seeing today with you guys? Like tonight, two bands each, so that'll make five bands for a show. Who are we seeing? Dead or alive? I'll let you bring them back.
I don't. I hope I don't take one of Chris's answers here, but I would like to see us play with Rotting Christ and Borknagar. I think that would be really fun.
Well, you did take one of my answers. I would have also said Rotting Christ. So I would say, you know what? Anger Overdose and Dead Deceased.
All right.
That'd
There you
be a long night.
Mechanic A said, "Fuck, I better start playing some games."
I
Let's
felt that.
go.
Yes.
Curtis, I see Curtis trying to pop in, but once again it says the device not connected, and I cannot make him join us. I'm sorry. What's up, Savvy? Anger Overdose, giving you guys a heart, giving Chris a heart, bringing the zombie man, the angry zombie, on a show with you tonight. It's amazing. Let's see. If I put an evil curse on you guys, and for the rest of your life you can only listen to one song, what song would it be?
Well, for right now,
Right now.
there is a band or a solo artist who goes by Les Johnson and me. He has a song called "One More Time," and I believe that would be it. It would be a very sad existence, but you know, the epicness of the song and how he gets that emotion in there, it's just unparalleled in my opinion. So yeah, I think it would be "One More Time."
Anger Overdose said, "Here comes the hot stepper."
Word of
How about you, Chris?
Uh,
What song are we
I would say
playing
for
on
me,
the
I've been
loop?
on a huge Vermilia kick.
Okay.
I've been on a huge Vermilia kick, and this song has been in kind of a loop. Is the song Morris?
All right, cool. So still to today, since we start asking that question, we don't have a song that repeated. So here we go. We're gonna keep going and see what happens. Let's say we talked about collaborations earlier.
Mhm.
I do have a song here where you have a feature with Militia, who is also the lead singer for Anger Overdose. So I'd say we take a few minutes and we just listen to the song. So everybody that's here right now can also enjoy the song. It's one of my
Awesome.
favorite. Seriously, like it brings me on a whole. I don't know. I feel like I'm really on the boat. You guys will see what I mean. And I'm going somewhere. You know what I mean? Like there's water and there's. I feel like I don't know. This whole song brings me on a whole trip. So I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do.
Take your dagger from its sheath, carve your
Death Pigeon says it's a beautiful track to me. Uh,
Thank you very much.
Anger Overdose, Malicious Slate on this track too. He said, Eisige Venen is fire. I mean, great song. It's an amazing song. Mechanic says that was pretty fucking awesome. It really was. I mean, it is one of my favorite from you guys. Like I said, it just has a feeling. It just gets me. The whole thing, the lyrics, the way the lyrics are put, like the voices are put together, the guitar, the music just works all together. What was the inspiration behind the song?
Um, so my girlfriend actually wrote the lyrics for the two verses, um, and we don't really have a normal song structure, so I hate to call it the chorus, but um, basically, what the song was about is how life just continuously beats the shit out of you. There's nothing you can do about it, but you you stand up, bloodied, bruised, torn apart, and you just keep going forward and keep taking the hits.
That's something that a lot of us can relate to, I'm sure. Life is not easy. Life is, I don't know, inflation and everything is hitting everywhere. Like, I mean, like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the US now, but I come from Canada, so I still see, like, I talk to people from back home and everything, and it's just everywhere is getting bad. So, there's a lot of mental health issues. Um, Thankfully, now we're talking about it more. We're more open about the subject.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, I mean, here at with the podcast and everything, we did a special on mental health for a week. I'm hoping to bring one back also. It's always good. It's always good to know that other people, are there. It's Mechanic A said it's fucked here in Canada, real bad. I know, I know. Eh, it's pretty bad everywhere, but we cope, and music is always there at least to help us pull through, like, all the bullshit of life. Militia, we just listened to your song, your collaboration. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing, girl. You did wonderful.
Yeah, she did an excellent job,
She
for
did.
sure.
Is it interesting to be, recording remotely like that? Because, like, Militia's in Australia. Chris, you're in Japan,
Korea.
Korea. Mark, you're in,
Texas,
and Curtis is in.
Arkansas.
I've done it. The band I was with before I was in Canada, the guys were here, and we did a feature in the UK. So, what's the process? How do you guys go about it?
Um, so far, um, the way it has worked up until this point. A lot of the guitar parts I wrote, the synth parts I wrote. I send them to Chris. Chris lays down his bass, and then we send it to Curtis. And once he's done, we release it. So with Militia, it was a little bit different. That was the first time we added a fourth party into it. So, but she was timely and got everything done. I mean, I will argue that the internet sucks all day long, but when it comes to things like this, the internet's the greatest thing in the world.
How do you feel it changed in the music world? How do you feel that it had an impact? The internet, the power of being able to do all of this. Like, we're producing. Are you guys producing your own music?
No, we had, we recorded everything, uh, but we had Steven from Lacerate Studios.
Yeah.
He did all of our mixing, mastering, and helped us out with some of the drums and stuff like that. So,
Well, it's pretty cool because you guys record at home. So that's a lot of studio time that you don't have to pay. That's a lot of. Uh, uh, I think that's the biggest part of how the internet changed everything, and
Hmm.
how much music is accessible right now. Um, on the flip side, I don't think that artists are getting paid enough for the streams. Um, album sales are not, well, they're coming back. So, that's a good thing. We're seeing more album sales. We're bringing back a bunch of stuff. Vinyls are coming back. So hopefully that helps the bands a little more. But streaming is shit.
Yeah, it's it's gotten to a point. I saw an interview the other day with Danny Filth from Cradle of Filth, and he was saying, I think he made 30 something pounds off their last album from the streams, and that was over. I mean, that was a few million streams.
Yep.
Of course, they're a bigger band. They have to pay. There's a lot of people, between them and the money. Uh, but he had I think he had a GoFundMe or something, asking for help with his cat. It's crazy to think of somebody, you've always looked up to, you've listened to for 30 years,
Yep.
and now they don't. They're asking for money to help with their cat. Um, yeah, streaming. I feel like Lars kind of had a point when he sued Napster. At the time, everybody cried about it, and they were saying, "Well, he's just an old man yelling at clouds."
Yeah.
But the reality is, he knew what was coming, and now we have. Why would anybody buy our CD if you can stream it? You're already paying the $10 a month for Spotify, so why would you buy the CD? It just takes up space. Unless you're a collector, there's no real reason to.
Yep. Absolutely.
And
But
the
Well, I was watching
streaming,
an
the bands are getting shorted. Go
yeah,
ahead, guys.
Well, I've been watching an interview. It was more geared towards hip hop, and I shared it with Mark,
Yeah.
and it was just talking about, for 30 years, the music industry has been shit for the artists. And it referenced specifically TLC. And in the mid 90s, they were like the highest selling female artist of all time. And they're up on stage with like 4 Grammys, and they're like, we're dead broke.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I don't think this is a new phenomena. I just think it's doing the same thing in a different way.
What was different back then though is that they didn't have a choice. They couldn't be independent artists. You had to sign with a record label. And how many record labels would approach you? What was the odds of having two or three fighting for you? So when that one approached you back then, you were like, "Whoa, okay, so what are we doing? Oh well, you have to give us that percentage, you have to give us this, you have to give us that," and then you end up at the end, okay, well now you have to pay for the gas for your tour, the merch for your tour, you're out. You're out of money. You're not even making anything. You end up having to pay the company almost. You know, and
And I
hmm
that
kind of I sort of get it from the label perspective to when, they're investing in you, it's a risk because you have the potential to succeed or you have the potential to fail. So I don't know what the right answer is. It's a complex problem.
that's why I like the world of independent artists. I mean, there's no middleman. The bands are doing what they're doing. I have nothing about record companies. Obviously, uh, when I was with the band, we would have loved to be signed, but I wouldn't have signed just anything. You got to be careful what you sign. You got to, like Death Pigeon says, yeah, TLC got proper screwed. Absolutely. And a lot more artists got screwed. Give you the best example, Blue Ridge Rock Festival 2023.
that's
Exactly.
that's a bad one.
Next Wednesday, we're going to have a special show on that one because it needs to be talked about. It was a shit show. And you know that I I've been reading, I've been connecting with people. Sepsis was saying you have to pay $75 just to submit.
Yeah, I heard that too. I
You
will.
don't get your money back, and
I have
some
an
people
emergency. I'll be right back. Hang
no
on.
problem.
Sorry.
You don't pay. you pay, they don't give you your money back. They don't. It was crazy. And then the festival happens, and a whole bunch of shit happens. We'll talk about it next Wednesday, but they canceled the festival. So now everybody's like, are we getting our money back?
Nope.
So, you know, they said, oh, they'll refund for the day that was canceled on Saturday, I think, and then no refund. Or if it's because of the weather, we're not refunding, and now they're saying it's because of the weather. But there was a lot of shit happening next Wednesday. Hopefully the people that did want to come on will have some time on that day to come on. Curtis,
And then there were
welcome.
4.
Welcome, Curtis.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what I did. I did everything, and all of a sudden, bam, it's there.
And here you are. Well, welcome.
And Mark disappeared.
Yes, he'll be right back. He had an emergency. Death Pigeon said, oh, wow, what happened? I mean, not enough water. One water station. The concert was oversold. It was supposed to have 50,000 people. I think they were over 70,000 people in there. There was really bad weather. Yes, campgrounds were destroyed, flooded. 2 pizzas cost $66. No, 1 pizza, sorry, cost $66. 1 bottle of water was like $10. Ridiculous. Chris, I see you shaking
My
your head.
apologies, my dog.
No worries, Mark. Welcome back. Curtis made it.
Yeah.
About fucking time. Yeah. Yeah.
Surprise guest.
Yeah.
What made you want to become a musician? What gave you the, oh my God, I want to do this?
To who?
All of you.
Oh.
Because my parents told me no. They wouldn't let me be in band in the 7th grade, and I mean, they're both passed away now, but I still just, I'm still like bitter about it. I just wanted to play the flute so bad, and they didn't want to hear me practice, so they said no. And it's the only instrument I could get a sound out of. But now I'm not going to be a flautist. I'm not going to go buy one. But back then, it's what I wanted.
I mean, why not?
Satyricon used a flute, man. Come on.
We have bands
Jethro
like
Tull?
Soleil Noir that's using a didgeridoo. So, I mean, any instrument could be included into rock and metal. Why not? Why not? How about you, Curtis?
I would say for me, I've always been about music. I was thinking after the Vox and Guest interview, I was thinking back, and when I was about 3 years old, I remember I had this tambourine that had a drum head on it, and I had a rattle, and I would just beat the shit out of this thing. Drove my parents insane, but I don't know. That led me to getting into percussion in middle school and high school, and then into guitar, bass, and everything else, down the road. And I don't really understand my parents, because when I first started, they're like, we'll buy you a bass guitar as long as you're never in a band. So they bought me my bass guitar. Then I was in a band, and then they got me a drum set. So I don't know. I mean, maybe they were just trying to get my energy out in a positive way, regardless of the consequences. But now I remember.
Absolutely. We've said it before. You keep your kids busy with music, sports, or whatever, an interest, something that keeps them out of trouble, Anger Overdose has a good point. Your parents said don't get in a band, and now you're in every band. How about you?
So I guess if you don't want your kids in a band, then tell them to be in a band.
So far, I'm in 2 out of 3, so.
I was, after I bought my first cassette tape as a little wee young lad, I was writing lyrics and singing, to all my other little buddies. Listen to this, listen to this. I was doing, it was Alice Cooper. Forget it. Alice Cooper, Trash. Probably 1989, maybe. And from then on, it was just like, pow, I went through a plethora of instruments, sucked horribly at all of them. So, um, you know, it was just whatever I had to do. You know?
Yeah, and then vocals. Just,
Yeah, just whatever yeah, whatever I could do. Luckily, I was able to do that because no matter what, I was always going back to that. You know, over all the years, it was just me and a mutual buddy of me and Mark, and he had a guitar and I had a bass, and I was trying to play bass, and I was like, "Well, here, you just play bass. I'll do vocals." You know, before we had any instruments, I've got fake band pictures of me and some buddies of mine. One day we'll be in a band. I had a little toy mic, you know.
yep. Freaky things.
Yeah.
What's up? Let's see. What would you guys define success as an artist to be individually?
Well, I'd say just hearing the man, I love that. That's all I care about. You know, anybody going, man, that was nice. I like that. That was, or you said I wasn't here, but I heard you say you really loved, you know, that song, and that's really that's success to me. You know, and that's I mean, hopefully that's what most of us are here for because you ain't getting much more than that. And you're lucky if you get that because most it's just like, oh yeah, cool cover, yeah, cool cover, guys, yeah, and that's about it. Did you listen to it? Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with Curtis. Like when it comes to music, there's that aspect of like, well, I'd like to live in a mansion and drive Lambos and stuff like that, but the reality is that's not going to happen, not anytime soon, or at least in the foreseeable future. So, and I think most people define success, by how much money you make a lot of times, especially here in the U.S. But yeah, I see it more of if I can inspire people. The greatest measure of success would be if somebody, honestly, if they tried to copy us, if they said, this inspired me to write something similar, there would be nothing greater than that.
I'd say for me, I guess fulfillment, filling a void in my life. I think that would be success for me. I don't see myself ever being like super famous or anything. So, you kind of accept the circumstances that you're given. But in all honesty, I think Fun Loving Criminals said it best when they said, I'd rather have money than fame. But no, I think, just having that sense of fulfillment, having somebody tell you that they appreciate what you do. And I think the ultimate thing would be if somebody told us that we help them in some way, something in our music help them get through something, which I think, Eisige Venen has that potential because the subject matter and it's stuff that we can all relate to.
Yes, absolutely. And like I said, the song that we listened to earlier, it's like a whole journey. You know what I mean? Like, I almost feel like I could see a movie. Like I don't know what movie, I don't know what would be playing, but it sounds like that should be in the soundtrack of a movie. Like, and I'm not just like trying to, I'm being.
I'd love to
honest.
hear that in a movie sometime.
That'd be cool.
Well, you never know. You never know. And you don't even have to be super famous, right? There's a bunch of movies on Netflix. There's a bunch of independent, it's just the right connection, the right time, the right.
We've actually we've had our music in a film. The Sorrow. It's a web series directed by my good friend Neil Gortz. He does it, and he's included a lot of our songs. The second season starts, I think, this month. So we'll have more music in that. So
That's very cool. See, like that's what I'm saying. And then you never know when something can pick up. You never know. Like I understand what you guys are saying, but we're not expecting to make. At this point, I don't think anybody is expecting to make. I just think that so that there's a level of drive. There's a level of time also that you can give to music. Family, jobs, because none of us are making enough money to not hold a
Mhm.
job or so you need something to support your music.
Mhm.
You guys are not touring right now, but we're seeing a lot of bands that are going on tour, and they're like, okay, gas, bus, hotel, food, it racks up really, really fast. Of course, what helps a lot of bands now, because we said streams don't, merch.
Mhm.
You guys have merch.
We do, yeah.
Where can we find it?
There's two places. You can go to rottingsunrecords.bandcamp.com,
All right.
or you can go to straight to isigevenen.bandcamp.com. Um, those would be the two avenues I would say. Or if somebody wanted something really bad, and you know, I've I've made deals, and said, hey, we can get you something. You direct message us. We can get links to get stuff more at cost. Because to me, if somebody's willing to wear something with our logo on it, I don't need the $3 profit that I was going to get off of a T-shirt. I'll send them a link, get them the shirt at cost. Just today, we had a coworker. Uh, she wanted a hoodie. Nobody's ever asked for a hoodie. It's an embroidered hoodie. It cost her. She sent me. It cost her $55 to get that hoodie,
But
and she was willing to do it.
it's embroidered, right? It's not just
Yeah,
the
it's
stick
nice.
on it. That's
Yeah.
that's
It's
quality.
nicer than
But
anything I have of Eisige Venen.
it's nice to see the support, and like you said, it's everything to be able to have somebody walking around and have your shirt. Uh,
Right.
that's what we do, me and Manda, when we go to shows. The first Dying Oath show, I had my image of the seat. She had Dying Oath. She had no anger overdose. You know what I mean? We love going to local shows and bringing everybody's shirt that nobody knows about. But we're getting further in the episode. There's new people that just walked in. Let's let them listen to a song. So the second song I chose from your songs is "The Night Comes." It's another beautiful song. It's another absolutely Anger Overdose has got my merch. Ev and Melany Nix. Yes, he's drinking out of a cup. a Nix's podcast cup. And I saw you guys. You guys' shirts are clean. The writing is really nice. You could still read it, and it has a certain flair. So for sure, it is on my list. Slowly, I'm going through the bands. Um, I would love to be able to just drop a bunch of money and support all the bands, but there is a lot of bands, a lot of merch, and I want to have it all. So it's gonna take some time, but I'll get there. I'll get to every band at one point. So let me set it up, and we'll listen to the video, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about the song and the inspiration and everything.
All right.
So let's listen to the Night Comes. I agree. That's Pigeon. Another great track, for sure. For sure. Oh,
Having
calm down. Calm down, YouTube. Egger said, "Love the vocals." Absolutely, so good.
There you go.
How long did it take for you to be able to do those kinds of vocals? Was it just something that just you could do, or did it take some training?
Well, I mean, it definitely takes some time, some training. I've been doing death metal, black metal type vocals for forever. But once I kind of, once you kind of start, you kind of find your sound. It's you got maybe a minute, and then it's gone. You just really got to build, work it before you can do it for any length of time without just cracking and sounding terrible. So, for many years.
Absolutely, it's not something. Some people say that it's kind of like, it's something that comes naturally, but you still have to practice it. You still have to develop it, right? There's many screams,
Yeah.
there's many techniques, and there's many ways to hurt yourself.
Right. Yeah.
So
There's many
Go ahead.
folks that go, "Oh man, anybody can do that." Well, let's hear it. And that's okay. Yeah, you did good, dude. Yeah.
it's not as easy as people think. I mean, they do those videos. Saw a few of them on YouTube, and they ask people in the crowd, like, after the shows and stuff, like, give us your best scream, and it's like 1 out of 10 maybe can do like
Yeah.
a decent, half decent scream. It's not easy. It's not as easy as everybody thinks. That's for sure. I've been trying for years and years, slowly progressing, but I don't want to push too much in it. I'm afraid to hurt myself. So I know there's techniques. I know but I'm also very chicken. Yes, anger.
Pain is temporary.
I don't know. Vocal cord pain and it strains and it sucks. It sucks. It really does, guys. Let's see. Let's have a fun question. If you guys could be a superhero and have a superpower, what would your superpower be?
I think I would be invisible. I think that would be a fun one. You could basically do anything you wanted. Sneak in, take the money from the bank. That's how you get paid.
Okay.
I wouldn't be an honorable superhero. Yeah,
Right.
super villain probably.
There we go. Well, I always like the villains more than the heroes, but I already asked the evil question, so I'm trying to be, superhero side. How about you, Chris?
I'd have to say, I guess telekinesis. Like, man, I'd just be lazy and mow the yard from like the recliner. That'd be cool.
I feel that. I really
Multitask in the greatest way of multitasking. Just all that shit going on there, and that ain't good.
I mean, that would be one good one for sure.
Come on, Chris, what you got?
I'm gonna have to go with it. I like to be unique, but I'm gonna have to say invisibility as well, because I like to know what's happening when I'm not there.
Okay. I mean, it could be useful in a lot of situations, good and bad.
Oh, they are talking about you. Guarantee that.
Oh yeah, they're talking about you when you're not there.
Mm-hmm.
I
Everybody.
mean, good or bad, keep talking, I guess, if your name keeps coming up.
I guess.
you
Yeah.
know. I mean, that's what I've always tried to tell myself. That way, it's like, water off the duck's back. Like, yeah, keep talking about me. I
It only
don't.
makes you famous.
I don't think I'm important enough to be talked about like that. But I mean, if you want to, go right ahead. Like, I'm all right with that. Any big plans coming up for the next months?
Uh, I think hopefully we'll have a couple singles out by the end of the year, at least one. And you know, personally, I'm shooting for another album in the spring, around the same time.
Be real nice.
Very cool.
Yeah, we
Very
got
cool.
we got quite a few songs in the hopper right now. We just want to make sure they're a good fit. I don't have a guitar right now, and it's kind of hard to write a song that's based on the bass guitar. Mark and I actually traded guitars, so mine's on its way to his house, and his sending his to me. So once I get that, I think I'm going to try to work a little more guitar work. But in the meantime, I'm trying to build the website, work on some merch designs. So that's kind of my contribution to this whole thing.
Very cool. Very cool. Merch design is always complicated. Is always, um, you know, time consuming, and uh, I am lucky right now. We will be revealing the design in the next week. But I worked with Mama's Maiden Studio.
Oh wow,
We just worked together on a design for the Nexus podcast. So I'm excited to bring that
awesome.
one next Tuesday. We're gonna do a big launch. Who's been the most important professional mentor, like musically? Like, it could be somebody you don't know. You know what I mean? People can inspire you without you, having to know them. Absolutely, Anger. Mama's Maiden Studio is fam.
Does that include the hey, here's what not to do? We got a lot of that.
Yeah, there's a whole mess of people that we've watched and watched them fail at their tasks.
And destroy. Yeah.
Yeah, and like, and dare I say, some people even embarrass themselves. And we've watched that. Keep an eye on those kind of things, and be like, okay, like we're not going to do that, you know.
Yeah.
But as far as any mentor goes, as far as navigating like the business of music, honestly, there's not a whole lot of, outside of a random YouTuber or something like that. I mean, it's just not. There's no one that's like taken us under their wing and said, "Hey, here's how you should do it." A lot of people have given us good suggestions. A lot of people have given us bad suggestions. And it's it's a very difficult thing to navigate the music world right now.
It is. It is.
In my history, I'd have to say it's been um, a whole lot of just keep to ourselves and not really any mentoring at all. There's one person that is in mind that I really have. It did influence me a lot as a kid, and still today. His name's Jay Lyle from is in a band called Six Shine, and I mean he took me in from I think I was 15, 14, and let me he was this band that anytime they played it was a giant sold out show. I met people with tattoos of their band, never met anybody from their band. And he let me stay at his house and threw me birthday parties in his house. And, up until that band disbanded, that would have been, um, for sure. He was a big deal in my life, for sure. Unfortunately,
Well,
things
it's
didn't work out for him.
yeah, it happens. I see it happening a lot with bands. It's nice to see bands being able to stay together, but there's so much stuff that can influence a band to kind of just like take, part ways, and it happens a lot, unfortunately. Like, but sometimes it's for the best. I mean, it's sad to see some people go, but sometimes it's just not working out.
I'm kind of in the school of thought, like, as long as us three can stick together and make that next album, that's going to show people something.
Yep.
You know, uh, even if they like the first album better, it'll show people like, well, holy shit, these guys aren't going to go away. You know, we didn't really care for them, but here they are, and they're still together.
Ah, another one.
Yeah, here comes another album from these jokers. And like it's, I think the bond making that album was, we made a really strong one, and not being around each other all the time, we don't have to deal with that getting on each other's nerves in the same way. Of we're not pestering each other. We're kind of like all working toward a common goal.
Absolutely. We're nearing the end of the episode, so I want to take a moment for you guys to take some time to thank some people, to shout out anybody, record companies, anybody that that's around that you want to. I know it's hard to give a shout out, especially in the community, because we always feel like we forget somebody. Uh, but is there anybody that you want, anything you want to say to
I
anybody that could be listening?
I have a list.
All right.
I'll start. I'll start. Josh from Rotting Sun Records has been nothing but amazing. He has believed in us. Uh, put out our stuff on physical media. Um, been nothing but done everything he's could to help us. Um, we got Vox and Sticks, who we all know has done amazing things for everyone. Steven from Lacerate Studios, who made our album sound the way it was. It's a great thing. All the interviewers before, Metal for the Masses, Bod's Mayhem Hour, um, Jesus. Who else?
KABF.
Who?
KABF.
KBF. Yeah, they played us the other day. That was Jeremiah from the band Pantheon.
Yeah, Baker.
Um,
Severe head wound.
yeah, he's the one man bassist for every band in Arkansas. Uh, damn. Jack from Greg Filth has helped us.
Yeah, I was going to say Greg, Phil, for sure.
Shit. I know I'm forgetting somebody.
That's
Of
what I'm
course,
telling
yeah.
you. That's what I'm telling you. Every time, you try to remember everybody. You try to.
Oh, Neil. Neil, obviously from the Sorrow series, we just talked about that. Yeah, him putting our music in there for everybody to hear. I mean, he's getting thousands of views on those episodes. So
And doing the music video as well.
Mr. Doom 666 shared us. He's up 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. He posts our album. I mean, there's just so many people.
The community is beautiful. That's what we were talking about, and like the Facebook community is just a small portion of it.
Oh.
Then there's all the other community. There's Discords, which the Nixus podcast has their own Discord channel. A lot of bands have them. A lot of podcasts have Discord now. It's nice to be able to keep in contact, to keep in touch with bands, and to see. It's nice to see the collaboration form in your chat. Like, oh, let's play a song together. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's been a real fun ride for sure.
Absolutely, and so many supporting people, like you said, Vox and Sticks. The so many podcasts. There's the Cake Lady. There's on our side. There's Mike Stover. There's Robert Rosenthal, who you guys can hit up to have interviews to be put on the Stover Load music podcast. I mean, those guys are awesome. I've met them when I was in my band, and they interviewed me and they played my music. So it's nice to still be in contact. Those connections that you make are important. Cherish them, nurture them. Never take anything for granted, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
We are at the end of the episode, so now I'm going to ask you guys the Nixus question. At the end of every episode, we ask the same question. The reason for us to ask the same question, sorry for my little co-host over there that you can hear playing
Got
with the puppy
4.
and the cats. You got 4, I got 3. But 2 of them are older. This one is just wild, just completely wild. And a 4-month-old puppy. So 2 of them together is just
Yeah.
so much fun. Yes, Anger Overdose knows all about the chicken nugget. The chicken nugget code is right there. So we asked this question, sorry, ADHD moment. We asked this question because we never know who could be listening now, later when we post on Spotify, or they can watch on live on YouTube or replay on YouTube or Facebook. Um, Mental health is very important for you guys as it is for us here. If you guys would have a chance to sit down with a younger version of yourself, what would you tell yourself?
Oh, I mean, we have a song about that actually, and I mean, it's a lot of things. So, I yeah, I can't really answer that. I'll just pass.
Punch back. Stand up. Punch back.
Good advice. Good advice.
And I don't mean physically like hitting somebody in the face. I just mean like, you know, when it's beating down on you, beat back. Go for it.
Absolutely.
I would tell myself, learn music theory, practice more, and don't get married.
I should really put like an X on the wall every time somebody gives that advice. Don't get married. Don't get married. Um,
I would have broken my advice 3 times.
oh my god. I mean, you know, there's no bad answers to this question. You know, it's very personal. It's very the level of depth of the answers that we get is always different, and we love to joke, even though it's, you know, we feel like it could be an important question. We could still joke around and have fun. Sepsis in the house saying yes.
Hey,
Practice
what's up,
safe
Sepsis?
marriage. I mean, they have spoken.
Yep. Find the right one the first time. I mean, I didn't, but you know, second time's charm. You know, it's pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
The only
Yeah.
problem is I'm the common denominator in all 3 failed marriages. So who's
Well.
the problem?
Yeah, well, there's that. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Sepsis says much love, you guys. You guys rock.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Good people, good people. We love Sepsis. Where can we find you guys before we go? What do we type? Where do we go? Because obviously I'm gonna tell everybody to go and follow you guys and make sure to add you to playlists. I'm telling you guys that it's really worth it.
Well, of course, we're on Spotify, Apple Music. I mean, you name it, any streaming service. Eisige if you want to buy a copy, you know, a digital copy or something like that. Obviously, Facebook, Instagram, and I think that's it. I think that's it for now. And YouTube, of course, YouTube. Yeah.
Awesome. And of course, Bandcamp, which you guys don't forget, the first Friday of every month. If you buy something off of Bandcamp, everything goes to the band directly. They are not keeping anything. So keep your money and go shopping the first Friday of October and help out one band. I mean, if you do it once a month, you know, just skip that one Starbucks one day.
Mhm.
I promise you'll be okay. It might hurt a little bit, but you'll be okay.
And also, like I said earlier, an instant message or direct message to us can get you a lot if you just ask.
Absolutely.
You know, if you need something, if you're short on money, you don't want to pay $30 for a shirt, and you want to wear that shirt, we'll make sure you get a shirt at a better price.
There you go, guys. So make sure you message them. I mean, most bands are like that. Message them. You know, most bands have that coupon, that percentage off, that, like you said, cost price. You know,
Mhm.
a lot of bands, a lot of podcast people would rather you have the shirt without having to pay the extra and not make that profit, but you rocking out our shirt, and you know, it makes everybody proud, makes everybody happy. Chris, Mark, Curtis, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. I'm going to take a short break, and I will be back at 9 p.m. with Wrecker Ian's. I hope to catch you guys again. Please keep in touch. Let me know when the new album comes out, when the new single comes out. Anything we can do to help you promote, just let us know. The algorithm on Facebook and everywhere is really rough. So if you guys don't message us privately, like you were saying, Mark, we can't know, we can't. Sometimes I see posts like 5 days too late, and I'm like, oh, look,
Right.
there's a show. Oh, it was like 3 days ago. Never mind, you know. So you guys message us, and we'll make sure that we
Yeah,
help as much as we can.
for sure. But thank you so much for having us, Melanie.
It's a pleasure. Death Pigeon, Freaky Things, Anger Overdose, everybody else, Sepsis, thank you so much for being with us tonight. It would not be the same doing a live show without the live audience. Once again, guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. Hope you guys have a good night, and we will see you very soon.